Welcome back. This show is dedicated to the underdogs. It is dedicated to you, to me, or anyone who has ever created but wasn't sure how to actually obtain ownership. The creation of Bitcoin years ago started to inspire the shift in society. And then we had the creation of altcoins and all the different amazing ecosystems available. But now in 2022, we have Metaverse, we have Web 3.0, and of course we have NFTs. And you cannot deny the power behind NFTs. The reason why NFTs are so important is because it allows a creator from all across the world, no matter how big or small, to actually have ownership of their item. And I think that that's so amazing to actually be able to completely control your music, your poetry, your artwork, whatever it is that you create, and be able to sell it and obtain royalties that are lifelong with smart contracts. So on today's show, we're going to be taking a sponsored look at ArtMeta. It is a premium metaverse for fine art, and they plan to connect the world's leading galleries and artists directly to creators through an immersive digital experience. And personally, I think that's absolutely amazing, because with all of these crypto NFT projects that we have out today, it's generally 10,000 or 20,000 generative pieces. So yes, there is art required, but at the same time, I feel like it is not necessarily the intended purpose of NFTs for traditional art. When I think about NFTs for traditional art, I think about an artist that maybe gets recognized somewhere. They go into an art gallery and they sell some of their artwork. Once that art is sold to somebody, the owner or creator no longer has ownership. It is sold to the other party, and if that party destroys the artwork, if they sell it somewhere else, if they hold on to it, pass it down in family, and then that family member decides to sell it again, the original creator does not get royalties. They don't get compensated. And there's all these issues in the art industry proving who created the piece. Is it fake? Is it a fraud? Whatever it is. And NFTs really, really solve that purpose, because you're able to create something. We know that you made it. You can prove your ownership, etc. Let's go ahead and take a bit of a dive into ArtMeta. So a big problem, again, we're going to be talking about problems that we're seeing in the traditional art world, is that we have people all across the world that are immensely talented. But just because you have talent doesn't mean you have the connections or the network to get your art or your creation noticed. And projects like ArtMeta really want to focus on those creators, because their platform is going to be the place where you can go ahead and list your art, and it's going to be able to connect small-time artists, big-time artists, any type of artists, with people that are interested in purchasing art on a global scale. But they're going to be doing things a little bit differently. They're going to be utilizing a virtual reality 3D metaverse that is going to be able to connect artists, galleries directly to the collectors and the problem they are solving, which is artists and galleries will be able to showcase their artwork to an unprecedented environment. So for example, I grew up in a very small town in, let's say, Kansas City. How would I be able to get my artwork out to maybe a hotshot art collector in England? I wouldn't be able to, or if I was able to, it would be very complex to do so without Metaverse, without Web3, without NFTs, and without cryptocurrency. And ArtMeta really wants to change the game and help artists and creators. And their main goal is really to help artists gain exposure by displaying their art in a digital environment. Digital art is kind of a hard concept for people who aren't necessarily familiar with cryptocurrency and intangible assets. But realistically, you can create an NFT out of one of your art pieces, and then once you go ahead and transfer ownership of that NFT, you can then go ahead and transfer or mail that piece of artwork to the person that purchased it. The NFT would essentially act as a way to verify the art piece, which I think is super, super cool. And ArtMeta really wants to be that premier gallery that represents these artists, so they'll be able to rent spaces and plots of land within the metaverse. And that basically means that art enthusiasts globally will know exactly where to go to see, to view, to experience the newest art and form relationships with established artists. So they're not just going to be focusing on art pieces. It's going to be land, literally anything that has value to be sold in the metaverse. And value is generally established with somebody who's interested in a very rare product. And this could even be an in-game item. There's so many different really rare, cool in-game items for blockchain gaming, or maybe something that is not necessarily a part of blockchain gaming yet, but it's super rare. And you'll be able to actually list that, your land, your in-game items, your art, a poem, a book, whatever it may be, inside Art Meta. And another problem that Art Meta plans to solve is that traditional art galleries are going to need help adapting and adjusting to this new industry. They're going to still be around, but at the same time, they're going to need help, and Art Meta plans to help them. Let's go ahead and talk about some important key pieces of information before we go ahead and take a look at the roadmap, the website, and some of the socials of Art Meta. So they had 2 successful raises on TrustSwap and Polkastarter. They were featured in both Benzinga and AMB Crypto. And there's going to be some names of DEXs and SEXs to follow soon. So they have confirmed listing on Gate.io, and then MEXC, and then KuCoin will follow soon. So this is the main page of Art Meta that's kind of giving you a little inside sneak peek to some of the really cool graphics that they have inside of their VR 3D metaverse. Let's go ahead and read some of the important pieces of information here. So we talked about Art Meta connecting artists and collectors in a visionary, beautifully rendered digital universe that has created a unique paragon for displaying and selling art in an emerging and fast-growing market. I think that's really cool, because when you walk into an art gallery or maybe even an antique store to kind of look at some of the vintage art pieces, it's kind of musty and dusty. Sometimes they're open, big, feels kind of awkward, but you can literally look at amazing pieces from the comfort of your own home and be in a metaverse that is aesthetically pleasing. And we see that with these graphics over here. So why are we even talking about NFTs, and why does Art Meta care about NFTs? Well, last year in 2021, in the 3 quarters left that we had, there was approximately $3.5 billion of sales via NFTs. And they're actually anticipating, the art newspaper is, that there's going to be about 13.5 billion by the end of 2022. If the market does continue to grow like it is, I think that this is possible, because you're going to see a lot more artists and a lot more creators merge over into the NFT space. And the way that Art Meta wants to connect people, they want to basically reach out to the artists, have them work within their gallery, list their pieces, and then also bring collectors in as well. So they're going to be reaching out to some of the top people in the space. So if you're somewhat of a small creator, it might be worth a shot to check this project out, just so that you can go ahead and list your art. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the roadmap and what we can expect in 2022. So we're going to see a MART listing on DEXs and SEXs. So MART is going to be the native token, hashtag MART. And some of those that we talked about a little bit earlier in the show, they have confirmed Gate.io, MEXC, and then KuCoin will be following soon. And I actually really like Gate and KuCoin quite a bit. In quarter 2 to quarter 4 of 2022, they're going to have the development of alpha version of Art Metaverse, establish of Art Meta as a leading fine art and digital resource, updated website onboarding of tier 1 galleries and artists, production and sales of NFTs, events, and initiatives around NFTs, and exclusive access for MART and token holders. And of course, in 2023, they're going to start on development of beta version of Art Metaverse, scaling up Metaverse participants, and scaling up of NFT production and sales of rental objects. And basically, it's going to allow for art enthusiasts to experience fine art in a new and experienced way. And it's going to be in a 3D VR metaverse. Some important things to note are the team members. So we have Roger. He is the CEO, head of sourcing. He's former acting director of Art Stations Foundations, Museum Such 2020, founder and director of Offspace Online 2011 and 2019, and founder director of Haas Fisher Gallery. And then we have Romain. He is a CTO, head of platform development. He is a co-creator, Art Metaverse, digital artist, and virtual production supervisor, LiveXS supervisor, that's special effects, I believe. Head of post-production, volumetric camera systems, and then worked with Neil Blockman, director for Demonic in 2021, which was a Netflix production show. Then, of course, Jonathan. He is an artistic director. He's a co-creator of Art Metaverse and virtual artist graduate from HED Geneva. Art Meta is supported by Swappable, TrustSwap, Matic, and nBreak. As always, you should do research before you invest in any project. Join the community. I highly recommend you follow them on Twitter. You can see some of the important drops that they have here, some of the artwork on their Instagram page. You can follow them on Facebook. Take a look at them via LinkedIn. and of course, read some of the articles. This article in particular is going to be most important. NFTs for beginners. What is an NFT? So basically this article here, and I believe they're going to have 6 more a part series, it's going to explain to you exactly what NFTs are and why you should pay attention. Overall, I think what Art Meta is doing is super cool. I do want to wait and see how their gallery is going to look. And I also want to see how I can kind of participate and check it out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. As always, you guys, make sure you always join the Discord, follow them on social media, and understand what the project is, either before you invest and whatnot. So thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.